Hey, it's Katrina McGee with Loving on Me TV. Welcome to another segment of Monday Motivation. A couple of weeks ago, I spoke at the Urban League Young Professionals Conference, and there was a question from the audience that just really touched my heart. A young woman who is a teacher and who loves her job was dealing with some negative Nellies at work. I mean, they were constantly gossiping, just creating an air of disarray, saying things about her that weren't true, and she didn't know what to do. She said, I finally have come to the point where I've decided to just ignore it and separate myself from the group. But unfortunately, my supervisor doesn't see the wisdom in that because he said I'm not being a team player. So I'm at a wit's end and I really need some help. And I thought, our panel gave her some really good advice on what to do in the workplace in terms of documenting things and being assertive versus aggressive and working with other team members to create a collaborative spirit, and then finally going to people in authority if none of that works. But when I gave her advice, I tried to give her some things to buoy her spirit, to help her feel back in control of her own life, and to exercise some of the choices that were uniquely hers. Because let's face it, I mean, we have all been in that position. There are moments where I wish I could ding, 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 just tinkle my nose and make people disappear from the universe. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen because we have to deal with the good, the bad, and the not just preferred. So, separating ourselves really doesn't work per se. Sometimes we have to stay in it. So, what can we do when we're in the fire so that we retain our sanity? Well, number one, I suggested rather than separating herself, she focused on being set apart. You see, our attitudes, our actions can all set us apart from the crowd. They say that there are certain standards for our life, that we live according to certain principles, and it's just some nonsense we just don't deal with. We don't ignore it, we just don't take part in it. Things like gossip. That's a good one because that's how a lot of mess gets started. But let's be honest, when the gossip is juicy, we're like, what? They said what? Girl, what happened after that? And before you know it, we're like sucked into the negative behavior and perpetuating the very thing that's driving us crazy. So we have to be conscious of our choices and the attitudes we bring to the workplace so we can set standards for ourselves that set us apart from the crowd. Number two, always try to be the light. Now, I don't know about you, but this gets a little tricky for me because there are some days that people can say something to Katrina, where bad Katrina reacts before good Katrina has a chance to respond. And I have to be honest, those are not my best days. I am a work in progress. But my mom, oh, my mom is the best with this. There was a person growing up that was negative all the time. And unfortunately, we couldn't avoid the person because they were in our family. But I watched her over a number of years kill the negative attitude with kindness. Now, she didn't completely change the person's character, but the interaction with my mother was always materially different than her interaction with other people, because my mother's light and love and the positive nature she brought to their relationship shifted their atmosphere and allowed some different things to develop. I'm telling you, the older I get, the smarter my mom becomes. I have started to try to emulate that in my own life because I realize that I want to be known as a light bearer, a person who brings good and positive to every situation and helps shift the atmosphere around her. And finally, make sure you get a daily dose of the positive. Now, I talk about this a lot because I believe in affirmations and meditation and reading the word and saturating your mind with good things. But when you're in the fire, you're in the thick of it, and negativity is surrounding you, it is like mandatory. And I don't just mean in the morning to start your day, but I mean ending the night in a way that is soothing and comforting to you, whether it's playing with your kids or going out to ride your bike or having a wonderful bubble bath with candles and all of that, whatever it is, so that just like your clothes, you shed those and get into your night attire, you start to shed the negativity that's been weighing on you all day. And you go to bed feeling lighter and more at ease, so that when you wake up in the morning, you have renewed for the day ahead. Otherwise, the discouragement, the disgust, and the desperation will start to make you bitter. And the very thing that you're trying to squelch out, you will start to emulate because you're not full up enough to be a light bearer. And I have to say, if all of that fails, then the final thing I'd offer is have the courage to make the tough choice to leave. We get so set in our ways and we get so used to our comfort zone that a lot of times we think that we have to stay in miserable jobs and in relationships, that we have to continue to be volunteer of the year when difficult people join the committee, that we have to constantly be in everything and doing everything and never just say no. And I don't think that God intends for us to live like that. I mean, this is the one life he gave us, and it should be full of joy and embracing the abundance, not constantly in an antagonistic, painful relationship. So just consider that. Set yourself apart instead of separate. Always try to be the light. Fill yourself up with positive. And if all else fails, have the courage to make the hard choice to leave. I hope that was helpful and encouraging, and I would love to hear from you about what you do when negative Nellies invade your space. So drop me a line, let me know what you think, and share your ideas with us because, hey, we all want to learn and grow together. Loving on me as I love you. Mwah! Have a fantastic week. Take care. Bye.